Good day, I am Richelle and Mangulabnan, and today I will present to you my action research entitled Supplementing Printed Modular Distance Learning Modality with Teacher-Made Video-Based Learning Materials in Algebra. This study served as the final requirement of my MSc program in DLSU. This will be the outline of my presentation, and I shall begin with the rationale. So mathematics is a subject that encompasses life at any age and circumstance, which is why it is essential that it is learned with depth and understanding. Countries worldwide realize the importance of STEM courses as the primary builder in their economic success. Unfortunately, based on the recent international and national standardized test, the Philippines is lagging behind its neighboring countries in terms of math achievement scores. In TIMSS 2019, the country ranked last among 58 countries, while scoring 136 points below the average OECD score in mathematics literacy in PISA 2018. The latest net scores also revealed that mathematics scores of Filipino students gravitate towards low proficiency level. Aside from the unsatisfactory math performance, the current COVID-19 pandemic poses yet another challenge to the education system by shifting to distance learning. Video is a powerful tool for teaching and learning because it can effectively influence knowledge, skills, and attitude and reach students in different ways. Several researches show that incorporating videos to the educational process increases learning retention. This studies aim to supplement modular distance learning by developing, validating, and implementing video-based learning materials in algebra. This study is grounded on three theories. So the first of which is Mayer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning. Mayer points out that people learn more deeply from words and pictures than from words alone. This theory was developed through the research of text and images, as well as experiments that show that integrated text illustrations improve the effectiveness of learning. Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence assumes that videos, unlike textbooks, take multiple modes that can take a variety of approaches, thus meeting the needs of a wider range of learners. These multiple entry points into the content are especially valuable in a formal educational setting, as they provide greater accommodation to a diverse group of learners' multiple intelligences. And finally, the concept of Dale's cone of experience proposed that learners retain more information based on what they do rather than what they hear, read, or observe. This type of learning by doing is known as experiential learning or action learning. The conceptual framework that was used in the study is a combination of the PDSA and the ADDIE model. I used ADDIE in the development of the video-based learning material. The analysis, design, and development of the video-based learning material happened during the plan stage of the PDSA, while the implementation and evaluation of the said materials were embedded in the do stage of the study. The main aim of this action research is to develop, validate, and implement video-based learning materials in order to supplement modular distance learning in algebra. This was carried out in the school where I teach, which is the Pinagkawitan Integrated National High School. Our participants were 12 students who were struggling in math. This table shows the coverage and the duration of the implementation of the study. It produced 4 video-based learning materials covering the first 4 most essential learning competencies of Math 9. The participants were given 4 video-based learning materials at the beginning of the first quarter of school year 2021 to 2022, and they watch the video-based learning materials as scheduled. They're supposed to use this as a supplementary materials to the modules. There are 5 research questions that this action research intend to answer. The first is, what are the challenges encountered by the students in learning the math content under the MDL, or the modular distance learning? Modular distance learning. And to address this, I used focus group discussions and interview. These were then analyzed using thematic analysis. So as for the second research question, how are the video-based learning materials developed using Mayer's 12 principles of multimedia learning, and the findings in research question number 1. So the third research question is, how did the experts validate the video-based learning materials in terms of objectives, adequacy of content, format and language, presentation, and usefulness? I used Torrefranca's evaluation tool, and it was analyzed using descriptive statistics. Research question number 4, how did the students evaluate the video-based learning materials in terms of objectives, adequacy of content, format and language, presentation, and usefulness? So the research instrument that I used here is Torrefranca's evaluation tool, and it was again analyzed using descriptive statistics. And finally, the 5th research question is, how did the video-based learning materials help the students learn about quadratic equations? I used an interview protocol for this, and it was analyzed using thematic analysis. To ensure that the students are using the given video-based learning materials, I used the cooperation of the parents, since they act as the learning facilitators at home. I created a Facebook group with the parents and students on it to remind them of the tasks to do for that week. I also send SMS to them containing the same announcement every week. So this table summarizes the challenges encountered by the students in learning math under modular distance learning. The primary difficulty that they had is the lack of additional learning support. These students struggled at self-study, mentioning that if math is hard during face-to-face, it was even harder during distance learning. One student even shared that even after reading the self-learning modules multiple times, it still would not make sense to him. They need a learning facilitator because, according to them, they learn better when someone explains the lessons to them. Like in the classroom, the teachers are able to simplify the lessons for them. Another theme that came up was the students having insufficient background in math. In one of the interviews, a student confessed that he's still having difficulty in division, while another shared that he does not know how to work with variables and signed number. So prior knowledge has been considered as one of the most important factors that influence learning. Bruner mentioned that learning is a dynamic process which learners construct new ideas based on current and past knowledge. Then there were also module related challenges, such as not having enough examples in the modules and some students having difficulty with English. So in a study by Alinab, Aguja, and Prudente, they found out that students tend to perform better in math when the medium of instruction is the pupil's first language. This is also consistent with the findings of Adeleye and Ogunrebi. Research question number 2 revolves around the development of video-based learning materials. So I used Mayer's 12 principle of multimedia learning in the development of the video-based learning materials, together with the data that I got from research question number 1. In this presentation, I will put emphasis on how I use the findings use the findings in the first research question in developing the video-based learning materials, because this is what makes the video-based learning materials different from other video tutorials in YouTube. They are contextualized to the needs of my learners. So the video-based learning materials is designed to help students in understanding the lesson by providing clear, simple, and easy to follow video tutorials. These videos are in portable format and can be viewed using a smartphone, tablet, or computer, and can be played anytime or anywhere, depending on the learner's preference. So these figures shows screen captures from the video-based learning materials explaining the concept of quadratic equations using examples and non-examples. In order to address the second theme, there were brief reviews throughout the video. For instance, factoring is a learning competency from grade 8 mathematics, and just a handful of students have mastered this when they reach grade 9. When they reach grade 9. Before the pandemic, the researcher would spend a session solely for review about factoring. However, that will not be practical to discuss factoring for one whole session. So the researcher decided to review past concepts as they appear in the video. And as for module-related difficulties of the students, the content, sequence, and examples used in the video-based learning materials followed the primary reference materials of the students, which is the self-learning module. However, there are cases which I believe that more discussions or additional examples must be added for the students to fully grasp the lesson. Moreover, the language used in the video-based learning materials is Taglish for the students to be able to relate better in the discussion. Based on the interview with the students, they understand better when the teacher explains to them the lesson in Taglish. And lastly, during the development of the script to be used in the narration, concepts were simplified for the students to be able to follow easily. This table shows the overall rating of the experts of the video-based learning material. The evaluators' overall average rating on the video-based learning materials is 4.89, indicating an excellent evaluation of its acceptability. The second table, or the next table, shows the students' evaluation of the video-based learning materials using the same 5 aspects. So the evaluation of the students also revealed an excellent rating, although slightly lower than that of the experts. According to the students, the video-based learning materials help them learn the lesson by first providing them with clear and adequate explanation. Students mentioned that before they're at loss with how to answer the learning task because they do not know what to do. But after watching the videos or the video-based learning materials, they finally understood the lesson because the videos were explained well. So students also liked how the solutions were presented. Another point that a student finds useful is the constant reminder about avoiding common mistakes students commit when solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Students also found that the video were easy to follow. So this is basically because the explanations were simple and the discussion were in Taglish. So they were able to easily follow. And as for the third theme, it actually felt good that the video-based learning materials help the students feel more confident about themselves, that they can finally answer learning activities independently. So it promoted independence among students. So for my plan for dissemination, I would like to present the results and findings of this action research to our school's learning action cell, to the division and regional research colloquium, and to different research congresses, just like this one. And as for the next cycle, I would like to make some design improvements with regards to the video-based learning materials and expand the use of this video materials to other grade levels and to other subjects as well. So thank you very much. That ends my presentation.